today's video, I'm going to be talking about how it is that I lost 80 pounds in 3 months. So let's just start from how old I was and stuff like that. So I was 14 years old. I was about 5 feet tall and I was weighing 180 pounds. So after 3 months, I got to weighing my lowest, which was 100 pounds. So probably looking at me now, you're probably wondering, what are you talking about? Like, you do not look like you weigh 100 pounds, sister. What are you talking about? And that's because I don't weigh 100 pounds right now. Over the past 1.5 to 2 years, I would say I've gained 60 pounds back. And I'm not happy about that at all. And I'm trying to change that. I am going to change that for 2019. So what I would do is, it all started back then. Okay, I was in 8th grade, the last 2 weeks of May. So I would wake up, I would go to school, what I would eat, and I can't really get into too much detail on what I would eat and the exercises that I would do. So that's going to be another video. I will upload those later on. For today, I'm just going to be giving the briefs. So my routines and the things that I would do. And what I would do is I would wake up, I would go to school, and I would have the breakfast that the cafeteria would provide to the students. And it was something light, so I would have cereal, milk, orange juice, and fruit, whatever fruit they would give to us. Then for lunch also, I would have a salad and have that with some water. And it was always a pretty hefty salad, so I would always be satisfied and full after that. So that was good. So that was kind of like my school day. During that time, I would make sure to always drink plenty of water. I would take myself like 1 or 2 water bottles and I would fill that water bottle up. I was drinking about maybe 2 bottles of water per class period. So when I would come home, fast forward, now after school, I come home, what I would do is I would have dinner, whatever dinner my mom would have, but I would have light portions of it because sometimes she wouldn't make the healthiest dinner. But either way, I didn't want to make something separate and just make a mess in the kitchen, and it was just unnecessary. So I would have her food, her dinner, in light portions. Now, if she wouldn't have dinner ready by around 5:30 or 6, I would make myself something light, whether it was a sandwich or a salad, or maybe I would grill up a steak. And I say light, but like I said, I can't really get into a lot of details in this video about my diet and the actual exercise routines that I would do, so I'll just keep it brief. But yeah, so that was that. And I would make sure not to eat dinner past 6 o'clock. So after 6 o'clock, what I would do is I would go outside and I would go out on a run. Once my food would settle down, I wasn't feeling so full anymore, I would go outside on a run. And what my runs consisted of was I would start off with about maybe a 5 to 7 minute jog, and then I would go into a sprint. Now, during this time, I was really big and I was barely getting into the whole exercise thing, so I wouldn't really handle a lot of sprinting. But even then, I would push myself to go as far as I could for as long as I could. I would just push myself. So my sprints at that time wouldn't go past a minute, but hey, I would push myself. So after the sprint, I would take a 30-second break, but what that was me power walking. So I would do the jog and then a sprint for as much as I could, and then I would do a power walk for about 30 to 45 seconds just to catch my breath. And that's what my whole going outside and run would consist of. And that would be for about an hour to an hour and a half. So that was the last 2 weeks of May. Then the summer came around, and what I was doing is I would wake up at around 7:30 or 8, and I would go outside and go out on a run. And it was just the same thing. Whenever I say I go outside and run, it consists of that. So the jogging, the sprinting, and then the 30-second power walk. So that was in the morning. And then I would come inside and I would have some breakfast. I would always have really good breakfast, and I would always get super full off of my breakfast. And you guys will just have to wait on later on for videos on that. But I am excited to show you guys, you know, the foods that I like to eat, my healthier foods. And so after breakfast, I would let that go down. And during this time, the summertime, is when I would really be into, I would focus all my time into exercising. I mean, I would be home alone for the whole entire morning and then for part of the afternoon. So I would have the house all to myself and I would have just a lot of time just to exercise. So after breakfast, I would go outside into the garage and I would work out. And what this consisted of was just, I would look up on Pinterest and YouTube different exercise routines and stuff like that, and I would do those for 2 hours, and I would be outside for the whole 2 hours just doing that, exercising. Details on the exercises will come in later videos again. Now after that, I would come back inside and just cool down for a little bit. So after that, it would be time for me to have lunch. So I would always have a light lunch, and if I didn't feel like cooking anything, I would just make myself a smoothie and have that. And I would always make sure to eat plenty of fruits and vegetables throughout the day. I love cucumbers, so what I would do is I would just take a cucumber, I would wash it off, rinse it off well in the sink, and I would just bite it. I would just eat it just with the skin and all. I love cucumbers. So I would do that, and I would be pretty full, because throughout the day, like I said, I would make sure to drink plenty of water. And what that did for me is it kind of cut back on my urge to be eating constantly. So now after lunch, again, I would let that go down and I would go right back outside and I would work out again for 2 more hours. But if it was summertime and I do live in Texas, so I would think twice before going outside after lunch to do workouts. Even though it would be like in a covered area, it would still get super hot. So if I wouldn't go outside, I would stay inside and I would do the exercises that I would just look up. But it worked out the same though, because I would still do it for 2 hours straight. I would get in as much time as I could of exercising. So that was that. Lunch, then more exercising. Then by that time, I would just cool off again and my mom would get home. And what she would do is, if she would come home from work, she would come home from work, but if she wouldn't take a nap, she would get to cooking dinner. And so if she would make dinner, I would have, again, what she made, just in light portions. Like I said, she wouldn't always make the healthiest dinner, so I still would eat it just in light portions. And either way, I would go right back outside and run. So that was that. But if she would take a nap, like I said, and wouldn't have dinner by 5:30 or 6, I would make myself something and then let that go down and go back outside and go out on a run. So again, by this time though, my jogging and my sprinting time, it really increased. And it's something that you can just notice right away from the beginning, and when you get to thinking about how you started, and then when you get to thinking about where you are then and there at that moment, you actually kind of, it's a really good feeling actually, because I would stop sometimes and I would say, wow, like this time I sprinted for like 2 minutes, and in the past I would sprint for about maybe like 30 seconds, and then again I would stop and I'd be like, wow, my sprinting is going into 3 minutes, into 4 minutes. And like hardcore running, sprinting. And same with my jogs. In the past, I would only last about 7 minutes or 5 minutes jogging. And then I would be like, I'm so tired. And you know what? I'm just going to go into the sprint and then take my 30-second power walk break. But then it would be like I'm jogging for 30 minutes straight, and then I'm doing the sprinting, and then I'm taking less time of the power walk break because I want to get right back into the jogging and the sprinting. And by this time, my time that I would spend outside running, it would increase to about 2 hours. So in August, school started up again, and I started my 9th grade year. So what I would do then is I would do the same routine as when I was in 8th grade, the same routine that I spoke about in the beginning of this video. But what I would do is when I would come home from school, I would go out and run. Then I would come back inside, have some dinner, let that go down, and go right back outside and run again. But those runs were the time that I was running outside the second time, I would last about 2 hours. Again, just running and probably doing some random exercises that I would think about. But it definitely was a journey seeing my progress, and definitely I do feel super sad now because I did let myself go, and that wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened. I mean, things kind of get in the way, school, stress, stuff like that. And it's something that I feel like I really have to manage myself, and that's something that I want to change for this year. And I hope you guys follow me through this journey. I hope you guys follow my channel. I hope you guys took something out of this video. If you're maybe planning on being more fit for 2019 or eating cleaner for 2019, whatever your goal may be related to fitness or clean eating, I hope you guys find motivation in this channel, and I hope you guys follow me throughout this journey. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.